Yeah. Hi, I'm here right now to tell you that part 2 of the video with Marcelo is following this. So if you didn't catch part 1, go check it out. I'm going to link the video below. And just a short recap, I was talking about my experiences here in Mexico and some of the weird woo-woo things that went on there. We talk about ancient wisdom and the pyramids and why the pyramids actually exist. We talk about living an unimaginable life and how to jump timelines, what kind of shadow work that we've been doing, and we also share our plant medicine experiences. And right at the end, Marcelo gets into apocalypse and unveiling what that actually is. So I'm so excited to for you to hear the second part of our discussion. So have fun. Hasta luego. And we were, so it was a Monday. We were in Teotihuacán on the Sunday, on the day of the woman, on the 8th of March. And we were only on, we actually, we didn't plan it. We had no idea until that morning that it was like National Women's Day. And the entrance that we chose was the moon pyramid entrance. And so we like just random. Okay, it was the energy, so of course that was what we chose. And then we only stayed around the moon pyramid on that day. It was all about alchemizing the feminine wound. It was a lot about the solar plexus and the throat chakra, and of women's, and not just women, but the feminine side of everyone being silenced. So we have all been in parallel lives, been silenced for being our authentic selves. And being silenced, like you can take whatever type of silencing, like our tongues cut off, heads cut off. So many, there was so much suffering that went with when you were being your authentic self, that you were silenced, that this has become this has grown over time. And so what we did at Teotihuacán was heal that for ourselves, okay, because we had all of these people shouting with overactive throat chakras, trying to be heard over all of the noise that was going on. But the thing is, it's not necessary, as you said. You find yourself when you go into silence, and you don't have to shout over everyone to be able to sell your things, to sell your goods, because you are worthy. When you understand, when you're at the frequency of worthiness, people will come and buy the things off of you, because that is the frequency that you're at. But when you're at the frequency of lack, you will then, also hear the overactive throat chakra. And so when we were sitting on that platform, we were doing a lot of meditating, and like we both felt our throat chakras closing up. And we were sitting on the platform where people where like the person would stand and he would shout and we'd talk to everyone, and so that would echo off of the walls, so everyone could hear what that person was saying, standing on that pedestal or on that platform. And so that is where we did actually quite a lot of healing of the divine feminine. Everyone has the divine feminine in them. So I'm not talking about gender, I'm talking about energy. And so we did that healing of ourselves. And when we do it for ourselves, we do it for everyone, of course. And we climbed up the pyramid as well, and on the top again, like there was this very dense energy that needed to be alchemized, and there was a lot in the heart there as well. And so it was really, really funny, because Gabriela, she bought a gold obsidian and a silver obsidian massage. One with like the gold was I think the smaller one and the silver was a big one. Now I'm just going to demonstrate with my aquamarine and my rainbow obsidian. So we did this to each other. So we put one on the heart at the front and one on the heart at the back, and created like this healing energy
Wow.
of the
One was
heart.
silver?
So silver obsidian and gold obsidian.
Wow, that's very powerful because like the obsidian and silver, different from gold, like it magnetizes, and from the other side is like the spectrum of the rainbow. Wow.
So,
Wow.
and we had absolutely no idea. It was just like intuition that we did it to each other. So we held both stones to the heart,
Mm.
and then we swapped sides and did it the other side. And it felt as if it was just the two of us up there. No one else was there.
Yeah, you created like your own bubble, your own like dimension because we can do that.
Yeah. And
Wow.
that wasn't the only time that we created our own bubble. We created a time dilation bubble in Palenque as well. And like we were sitting by this little stream for at least an hour.
Mm.
A hummingbird came up so close to us that we could hear its wings flapping, and like never heard that before. A hummingbird came up to us in Teotihuacán as on the day that we were leaving. We were having breakfast, and on the terrace, and you could see from the terrace, you could see the sun pyramid. And Gabriel said she had never seen a hummingbird before. She was in Peru the whole time and didn't see a hummingbird. And then this hummingbird comes
That was the
up.
first time in her life she saw a hummingbird.
Yeah. And for
Wow.
me, it was the second time that I had seen a
Wow.
hummingbird in real life. The first time was 10 minutes before I met her in Machu Picchu.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, so
How beautiful.
this hummingbird comes up to us in Teotihuacan, and then when we're in Palenque, and you could hear the 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 wings. That's how close it got. And we had dragonflies come all over the place, butterflies, and
So you
we
had like
had
the all the elementals in the physical
all of them.
form.
Yeah.
Dang.
All of them. They just came up and they were sat with us, and then there were little fish in the stream, and they come up and like chew at your skin, like come up to your skin, and there were also like these snails, these water snails, and
I know.
by
Yeah, I know which ones.
yeah, and the thing is that they all gathered around, like we had our feet in the water, and then maybe 10 minutes later you had all these snails around you. They just
Wow.
all crept up. Yeah, it was amazing and mind-blowing, and like no one saw us. There were so many people just walking by and they didn't see us.
Yep. That's wild. Talking about bubbles, look what I bought last week. I bought it last
Oh,
week. I said I gotta like just put bubbles everywhere. You know, I love bubbles. But what you're saying is so interesting because like I found myself that libélulas, the fireflies, no, what is
dragonfly.
it? Dragonflies, yeah, they're elementals, butterflies as well, hummingbirds as well. The snail, like you were surrounded like by magical beings, and because you are a magical being as well, and you recognize it now, so that's what you magnetize now, right? But yeah, it's very powerful that we can do these things, and you experience these things, and yeah, it's time like for us to rise once again into our power, but like being humble now because we've had power before, but we've used it uh, maybe not in the best ways. So because that power has always resided in us, and the stories about the el diluvio universal, like the great flood that all the religious texts talk about, like at the beginning, and like what was that about? And every time, as you said, in many different incarnations or líneas de tiempo, timelines, we were shut down and no, you cannot talk, stop saying the truth. So we have a lot of traumas in a way. So recognizing them and transcending them, and little by little start expressing and start just sharing. Because if you do it, everybody do it. If you don't do it, nobody do it. So because that's the way it works, right? So if I'm courageous and I share, she will be courageous and she will share. If I dim my light down, she will dim her light down. So what if it all depended on you? That's quite the responsibility, but what if it's like that? Take that responsibility. And that's the responsibility. And like a friend says, like your only responsibility is to love more. That's it. You have a lot of responsibility. What's my responsibility? To love more. But you cannot love others if you don't love yourself first. And that's the thing, right? Self-love. Self-love. And I've struggled a lot. Maybe all of us have with self-love. Like, who do you see in the mirror? Who do you see when you look at yourself in the mirror? Self-love. Love yourself. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. You did the best that you thought it, and you had the tools and access at the time with the best things that, but forgive yourself and love yourself more, because that way you will be able to just be yourself. And when you just are, you're just emanating that essence that you've always been, but you recognize it now. But yeah.
We have many desires, but there's only one desire that is, let's say, real, and that's the desire to know who we are. And we are unconditional love. That's who we are. And when you remember yourself as unconditional love, like that's what I felt when I was on Bufo. That's what you feel when you're on plant medicine, washuma, or like I've done this before, is deep trance identifying with Jeshua. We are unconditional love, and that's what we are here to remember. And something that we also channeled in Mexico was, we have, in every single incarnation, we have remembered who we are. And in most incarnations up until now, we've remembered right at the point of death, like taking your last breath. That is when you remembered you are unconditional love. But you always remembered. You always fulfilled that desire to remember. And so what we are here to do is to remember and to embody unconditional love. And when you look at yourself in the mirror and all you see is unconditional love, that's what we're here for. And that's something that that I realized last year. I'm unconditional love, and I'm here to give unconditional love, no matter what.
No matter what, yes. And that is it, like with no conditions. No conditions, just love, radiate that love and give it to yourself. Because if you only look to receive love from external sources, you're filling a void that you will never fill. Because it's not about feeling whole, it's just that unconditional love. You gotta give it to yourself first. Like, love yourself exactly as you are, because you chose this body, you chose this name, you chose Stop blaming other people. Stop blaming God for, no, it's you, and you can change yourself. You can transform yourself. But it starts with first recognizing, then accepting it, and then comes the part of transcendence, of movement, of change. And change requires death of something. If you want a birth of something, something gotta die. If you want to be, I don't know, fit, the part of you that doesn't exercise gotta die. If you want to be this, the part of you that is not this has to die. So yeah, and this walking of unconditional love, it is the path. It is the path that many ascended masters have laid, like the walking before us. And the heart is the portal. It's like the three chakras, energy centers above, the three below. What's the center? It's like the heart. In the Egyptian mythology, when you transcended and you were going to heaven, they did the test, right? The test that your heart and a feather, the feather of a bird, and if your heart was heavier than a feather, you couldn't go into heaven. And I find myself that means, like, how liviano, how do you say liviano, that it doesn't weight much, like
How
how,
light.
yeah, how
Yeah.
light is your heart, how pure is your heart, how innocent is your heart. And when you tap into that innocence, you can go to the higher chakras. That is heaven. Heaven is your own perceiving things, your own imagination, your own tapping in to source. But you have to have a light heart for you to ascend into heaven. That heaven is right here, right now. But it's all about love. And that's what the movies tell us. That's what Harry Potter tells us, that Star Wars tells us, Interstellar tells us, that many movies and books, and they tell us about love. Because in my experience, at least, that is the truth. Like, is the most powerful force in the universe. It's love. And it's cringy, but it's true. At least for now, like right here, right now, in my experience. So
It's
yeah,
only cringy. It is it cringy? For me, I don't feel it cringy, but I understand what you're saying. The cringiness comes because we have put a lot of like sarcasm into it,
Mhm.
where it's there's nothing wrong with being love. There's nothing wrong with being in love either. Um, it's how are you going to use that power of love, because it is the driving force of the universe.
Yeah. God, wow. What he did, she created love. Love
We,
being the center of it all.
yeah,
Wow.
it's the driving force for everything. And once you've once you know that, so understanding is here, knowing is here. So once you've transcended those 40 centimeters, or how many centimeters that are, when you get to know that love is the driving force and you have received everything that you need, not what you wanted, you have received everything you need out of love, because if you had received what you wanted, you wouldn't be expanding and evolving in the way that you should, or the way that you wanted to. You created this body so that you could fulfill the purpose that you came here for. And if you had a different body, you would be fulfilling a different purpose.
Mm.
So
Mhm.
if you choose to be jealous about someone else's body, you can do that. However, just like that's one of the shadows for you to work through. You designed yourself perfectly. You designed every single challenge perfectly, and you
Yeah.
have free will. And like getting through all of those concepts isn't for the mind, it's for the heart,
Yeah.
it's for the body. Our DNA remembers. And I think when we were on the call, that is when I channeled this, that our mind is linear, but our body is exponential.
Yes. And humans are used to thinking in linear reality or whatever it's said, but it's exponential, like the Fibonacci sequence, that everything is made from that. It's exponential. And right now, this technology that we're living, this Aquarian age, is exponential. So you gotta tap into that. Like everything is happening at a speed that we haven't seen before, because it's time for change. It's time for like embrace and accept these new things and technology. Like, I don't know, it's so crazy because it's moving so fast. And I'm also a big fan of technology, of blockchain, AI. I use it a lot, but I feel like we don't have to be like, nobody has to be anything, but like, yeah, at least in my experience, like it's essential to be tapped into to the mother, like to the heart to the nucleus of the earth, for us to ascend more like a tree into technology, like the heaven, right? This innovation and things, but tapping into the earth and channeling that in a way. How can I use that with technology? How can they dance together in a way? Um, because if you want to do only that, but leaving this behind, like it creates a unharmony. Like they
It's
have
not,
to
yes.
dance, yeah, together.
I mean, that's what you're here to create.
Yes.
And yeah, so the others are here to create it a different way, because that is the nature of oneness. You are the fractal of infinite source, with the specific frequency that you are here to experience in this incarnation throughout the construct, what you need to experience, and the others exactly the same. And so that is where the unconditional love also comes in, is um allowing them to do what they need to do, and you allow yourself to do what you need to do.
Hmm.
So um this is the thing that you need to do, is connect with earth, grow the roots down, because as below so above, of course. The tree roots go into the ground, and the branches, they go up into the air, and they look exactly the same, just like our lungs have exactly that branch structure as well. And the nerves inside of our brain have that branch structure as well. So as above, so below, as below, so above. But that's what you're here to experience, and and other space cadets are here to experience the other thing.
It's fascinating, right? Like as you were talking and saying about like yeah, it's something that we know, but every time I hear it, it's like wow, 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 like the micro in the macro and the macro in the micro, and that we are the macro right now. And it's mind blowing, because every time you think about it, but it's this new era is not more much about like thinking and rationalizing and structure. It's put it back in the heart and open yourself, because the heart, this is the infinite source potential. Like it's the heart, and what's your intention, and where do you come from, where do you do it from, and like tapping into that love energy. And it makes you feel good as well, like it uplifts you, and like, right, just loving, right.
Yeah, exactly. And so every day when you feel love, and if, like, sometimes I might not be able to generate it immediately inside myself, so I would just feel the consciousness on my bed and feel the unconditional love coming from my bed. And so that, like, that is how
Mm.
I can then reconnect again with that unconditional love. It's just every day feeling inside your heart, in that little space, like just behind it. And when you
Mm.
get there, you can say, I am one with source, I'm one with God, I'm one with everything, I'm one with myself, how, whatever you want to use, and feel the expansion into everything, and let it come back, and feel expand and let it come back, and expand and let it come back. And when you do that, do it as soon as you wake up and do it before you go to bed. It will actually, you can keep on doing it throughout the day. Like it just comes natural. So like throughout our whole conversation, I keep on just feeling in that space behind my heart.
Mm.
And then it starts like to glow. Ooh, something that was also really interesting when I was on ayahuasca. It was like, I have my hands like this on my heart, and then like at some point, when you like that for an hour or something, you want to change position. So I opened up my hands and we're like this, and then I wanted to put them on my body again, and my hands wouldn't go back because
Wow.
I felt my aura. Like
Mm-hmm.
right here, I felt the energy, and my hands would, like, I felt it so strongly, my hands would not go any further.
Wow.
And so I said, okay, well then I'll just put them on my aura. And
Like a fat guy with a beer in his belly.
exactly. And I started just playing with it and feeling it and feeling the warmth, and like I didn't open my
Mm.
eyes, I didn't dare look, but I just felt the warmth of it. And
Wow.
so Brianna was singing and she had her guitar, and my arms were just like moving around, like I couldn't do anything, and it was just like kept on bumping into the aura. And it was like this totally interesting sensation. My arms just like doing whatever they wanted to do and resting on my aura.
Mm. Because when you're on medicine, you also like at least in my experience, you get to tap in and truly experience how when you're in that subtle energy, like the any essence you put, like any essence or spray that you put, like you feel it completely, like every little sound you hear it, like every thought you can feel that it has an impact somewhere. So you tap into these more subtle energies that may not be that physical, that dense, that material, but they do exist and they do influence things like sound, geometry. Just a certain movement from the hand changes everything. Like just a thought changes everything. But if you're not willing to tap into that, like subtleness, or go into these maybe fasts or silence, and when you go into those spaces, you really get to tap more into those subtle energies, and maybe tap into the elementals, or maybe tap into, I don't know, and channel a certain message. But medicine also shows you that these subtle energies are very, very real, and they have always been there, but maybe you didn't recognize them before. But when you see something, you cannot unsee it. That's why medicine may change, like it changed for me, like my whole life. It also changes for many people because, and also like maybe mushrooms or other medicines, but you see things or parts of yourself that maybe you wouldn't have seen, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. And that's maybe, I found that that's maybe why many people, or there's a lot of resistance from people from tapping into this, because they know that once you start in a way or you see something, there's no going back. So I prefer not to walk that path at all, because if I choose to walk that path, everything will have to change. And maybe I'm not willing to do that. Maybe not right now, maybe not today, maybe not in this lifetime. I don't know. But it's responsibility. And and it's okay, but it is like, because it changes and shifts everything.
Yeah, it
and
does.
and yeah, and it may be intense, but that's why being in a community also helps, sharing and like being with other people. it's like a dance alone and with people and right.
Everything is a dance. And so I want to go into the truth that you said is an apocalypse. So what happened, let's say just before Atlantis was washed away, was there was a or no, I think it was even Lemuria. No, it was in Lemuria. There was a veil put over, like a system distortion. So this distortion was put over, and now I think it started 2012, where the veil had lifted, and so this lifting of the veil, of course, is the truth. It is the what remains when the distortion is gone. It is what was before the distortion and what is after the distortion. And so that apocalypse, the etymology of the unveiling is just taking away the that layer of distortion that was put on.
Mm-hmm.
And the floods, they had to come because of the there needed to be a reset, because as you said before, the power was misused.
Mm-hmm.
In Lemuria it was misused because they were all in the upper three chakras, and they didn't take care of the lower three chakras. And so that was all feminine energy. The masculine energy was then that's where the masculine wound, of course, comes from, is from Lemuria and of being suppressed. So the masculine was suppressed in Lemurian times. Then in Atlantis, it was the other way around. So that was all masculinity, that was all technology, that was oppression, physical oppression, physical suppression, and the top three chakras were not taken care of. And so that needed to be a reset. And then our humanity came along, which was the next experiment, but with the distortion and with the masculine wounding and the feminine wounding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like right now, like as a humanity, as a collective, like it's time for like we've both of these together, like talking, like circling back around like this universe is trinit, like as the atoms tell us, like as above, so below. So like the great creator that everything is divine, right? In when you start seeing it from like a perspective, but yeah, like it is time for integrate this feminine archetype that is Lemuria, that is the civilization where we connected with the heart, with nature, with the elements. Integrate that and integrate Atlantis, where we try to ascend just from a mind perspective, from understanding it all and technology, and they were also trying to make humanity ascend faster. That's why like the Bermuda's Triangle and many things happen. But it is time, like um like the el hijo neutrino, like the
The
new,
Holy
new
Trinity.
yeah, like the one who weaves both, like the
Mm.
child who weaves both the mother and the father. uh like we as a collective, it is time for us to step forward and to we've been on this healing journey, on this remembrance journey, on this like inhaling all this information and tapping into past lives and healing other timelines and all this. But it is time like to humbly now again step into our power, rise above, and do it as a collective, like as a community. It cannot be done by yourself. It has to be like with many people around, with people from all over the world, because that is also a trauma. That is also a fracture, because at first, Pangea, we were all one.
Mm.
And then we fracture ourselves, and maybe in the illusion of belief that we are different. No, we're the same. And it is time to go back into that and to remember that and accept each other's differences, like a very very big wound that all the native originary people from all over the world have is that there came a time where the white man came and they imposed their own beliefs on you. I take away your tongue, I take away your language, I take away your connection, I take away your traditions. Yeah, and this gets very, very traumatized, and other energy centers as well, and they like disconnect us from the mother. But it is time to, and that's what the prophecies say. The prophecies say that there will come a time where the, because also these native people also have like these traumas that they don't want to speak up, or they don't want to, because when we did, you hurt us. So I don't want to open myself back up again because you hurt me. And animal kingdom as well, and nature as well, because we humans, we gotta know that we've done wrong many times. And it's not about, no, my grandfather, you are your grandfather, so you did it, okay? And take responsibility and just forgive yourself, and say sorry. It's that easy, but with a pure heart, and build something new, and have the courage to now step forward and to do something. And maybe that doing something is just you being yourself, but don't pretend and to be someone you're not. Don't be a hypocrite. But yeah, it is time like to reunite, like the wisdom of South America with the wisdom of Africa, with the wisdom of Europe, because we are all one, and as above, so below. So when we start doing this here, they start doing that same thing over there, because there is no separation. And yeah, it's little by little, but these new times, like the first rays of first light of the sunset of this new galactic dawn of the solar humanity is happening right now. So that's why we're seeing lots of things happening, lots of truths coming to the surface, lots of things moving, because that's what light does. And we're entering in this like photon thing, like in space, where light is coming in, new solar codes are coming in, and they come directly from the one sun that emanated it all. um, and I also am a big fan of like prophecies and all these things. I love it. Some may believe, some not, but I just find it fun, like to believe, and that they are happening, and we are the prophecy fulfilling itself. It's not that somebody else will do it. No, you are part of it as well, because if you are here right now, listening to this right now, you are part of the web, and we are all the web. We are both the weaver and the web. Like the song says, no, soy el tejido, soy el tejedor, soy el sueño y el soñador. You're the dream and the dreamer. So it is also our responsibility. If you're both the web and the weaver, it is your responsibility to weave a web. It is your responsibility to dream as well. So it's just these two, because every thought creates reality. Every action creates reality. That's what Gandalf says in the book, in the movies. Why do you, Bilbo, Frodo? Because it is in everyday deeds that everything changes. How you cook yourself, how you talk to yourself, how you talk to your pet, how you receive the sun. How it's everyday small deeds that make the difference and end up piling up. Because, and also, what do you put your attention and your energy into the things, that the obsolete systems that are already crumbling, or the new systems that you want to build, that you have a vision, that you want to bring heaven on earth. But yeah, it's time like to start talking to us, to everybody like play a part and play their role. Like if you're not playing your role, there's something missing. Like in the symphony of this music that everybody's playing their own instrument, something doesn't sound exactly right because something is missing, and that missing is you not being yourself. So it's just the invitation to have the will and the strength to be yourself, and to love yourself, and to forgive yourself, and to embody the creator and the artist that we all are, because we're a fractal from source, and source is creator in nature. And as nature creates, because that's her nature, and so do we. So just tapping into that and incarnating that, right? Um, but yeah, like it's using this technology like to do new things and to use it in a certain ways because it's a tool. But what if we've been using a tool in a different way? Let's maybe think of new ways to use the tool. Think of new innovative ways that I don't know that we can do new things. Like let's think out of the box and build communities as well. Community is essential. Like being in a community and being part of a community. Like right now, I've been going for quite a few months to Temazcal, and it's something I look forward to every week because it's a community, and there's like grandmothers and uncles and kids and everybody, but it's just being part of a community, and it's also a community on social media, on different groups, WhatsApp, iMessage, Telegram, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. But being part of a community that you want to help build. And if no, you can start your own also. So yeah.
No, I love that. And at the same time, remember that New Earth already exists. We're just watching the unfoldment and participating in the creation of that, but it already exists.
Yes.
It already exists.
Yeah.
And so that's, as we both know, that is exactly where we're heading. And everyone is coming with us who wants to, because it's a choice if you want to or not.
Mhm.
And that's where we're headed. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's remembering all of the things that we're here to create. And so, you know, when you cleared your channel, it just becomes easier to remember what you're here to create. When your channel is a little bit more blocked, um, let's say it just takes a little bit longer.
Mhm.
But the energy of right now, all the way to 2030, probably even 2032, is just going to be very, very intense. As I just heard the other day that everyone is going to be awake until 2030. Everyone.
I believe that.
Oh, I do too.
But it's a choice of each, like because we've learned from imposing, because circling back to the native people that they've been imposed, we've learned from that. So now it's a choice. It's whatever you want. If
Yeah.
you want to come, come. The door is open. If you don't want it, don't. But nobody is, dude. No. If somebody is obligating you to do something, it relies on your own what you want to do. But it's just an invitation, and it'll be beautiful. So let's co-create. Let's participate in this new earth, and that we're all building together, and it's happening right now. So and everybody can play their role. Their part is like little bees, and we're all working bees and doing the
And
things that we
everyone will.
love, and the honey and the yeah.
And everyone will. And the thing is that there's also space for those who decide to be bored and to sit at home the whole day. There's also space for that
Yeah,
because as an infinite fractal of Source, that's what Source wants to experience, being home the whole day and being bored.
and that's beautiful. Like
And that's beautiful because that's part
yeah,
of it. And if that's what you want to experience, if like your experience is meant to be a very uneventful one, then that's what your experience is meant to be. And that's beautiful. And that's how you designed yourself.
yeah. And thank you for that too, because it plays a part too. It plays a role as well. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. And so once you see that, you can't unsee it anymore. And that is something like I see all of these people walking around and seeing them all in their perfectly designed bodies, in their perfectly designed lives. Just right now, they're not conscious of it. And I know that like very soon they're going to be conscious of it. And I find that so beautiful. Like I'm part of the first wave. I chose to be part of the first wave. I chose to be someone who, like for us, it's been a tougher road because there was no path in front of us. So we have actually been literally forging that path. And I have to say, in Merida, in 𝒸𝓃𝓊𝓃𝓚,
Uh-huh.
at the Seven Dolls Temple, that was amazing because let's say I'm not going to go through the whole story, but we actually got taken beyond the normal access, public access point, and we had to forge our path,
Wow.
like because it was all overgrown. So we were taken to the Mayan temples that other people can't access.
Wow.
And we called it out as well. Before it
Mm.
happened, we called it
Yeah?
out that yeah. We called it
Wow.
out that it was gonna happen. I mean, we called out so many things. It was it, like we were walking around San Cristobal and Gabriela said, and now we're gonna find a clown. And about 5 minutes later,
What?
about 5 minutes later, we walk into this like dead end. You couldn't go any further, and it was an art gallery. And no joke, a a clown was standing in front of that art gallery.
Wow. What the fuck?
I just I fell over from laughter because she called it, and
Wow.
by that time I was like already used to her saying, "Oh, and this is gonna show up," and it does. But
Wow.
I'm like, okay, we're in San Cristobal. Where are we gonna see a clown? And sure enough, a clown shows up.
Wow. That is crazy. Like it's why like the deeper you get into it and the more you think about it, the more so it's just opening the heart. Don't think about it. And wow, thank you. What the fuck? Like it's wild. Wow. Wow.
Oh man. I know, I mean, I'm sure like we're also gonna do like a little integrate after the integration, we're going to talk about it as well. But like these are just some of the things that happened. And like during the 6 weeks, I was also what happened. We planned to go the whole 6 weeks together, but Merida, I didn't really like Merida, and I felt called to go to Ekbalam. So I received let's say an invitation to do something in Ekbalam in the morning meditation. And so I just talked to Gabriela and I said, I think I'm being called back to Valladolid all by myself. And then she said, yeah, what she was actually going to suggest that to me.
Wow.
And
Valladolid is Yucatan, right?
yes, Yucatan. And because we had already been to Valladolid for I think 6 days or something, and went to El Cuyo, then Tizimin, and then to Merida. And I just had like felt this call that I needed to go off by myself, travel alone in Mexico. And like that was one of the things that I did, that I like was the anomaly to myself, do something that you've never done before, which is travel alone in a country where I hardly speak the language. I mean, I was absolutely capable of finding my way and, using colectivos and all these kind of things, with big suitcases. Oh, and my suitcase had actually dropped the wheel, so my suitcase was riding on
Yeah.
fumes. Yeah, I had
Wow.
lost it in Tizimin. So, um, and so I was just like, okay, I think I have to go out by myself, and traveled for nearly a week
Wow.
alone, which was amazing. And
How was it? Like, how would you describe the feeling of traveling like by yourself in a country where you don't speak the language? Like, how was that for you?
well, at first it was a little strange because yeah, I was alone. Like I've never traveled alone. Like yeah, I've traveled in Switzerland and gone to places alone, but it's not the same thing. It's like
Of course.
really being immersed in a country, like being a local and just going inside and seeing what happens. And I felt very excited about it. I mean, I downloaded Airbnb because I hadn't done that myself before, and just like went on there and booked like I I did it 2 days in advance, I think,
Mm.
and found a wonderful place in the middle of Valladolid, like really well on 35th Street, and it was pretty central, and it was amazing, and I had an amazing time. I mean, someone talked to me at the supermarket, and I ended up inviting him to come with me the next day to Ekbalam, which had to be because I remembered parallel lives with that person in
Wow.
Ekbalam. Uh-huh. So is everything was just like tick 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 tick.
It's amazing that, and you're talking about free will earlier. I, I don't know. This past year, I've thought a lot about like free will and destiny, right? Like, is it true? Like, is destiny true? Because if destiny is true, like, if free will, is it true? But yes, of course, I have free will because I can decide not to drink or drink this water. But there's other forces more, and that is yourself in a way. But when you think you're making a choice or a decision, like you already know if you're gonna make it or not. Like I don't know, it's such a weird.
Okay, so with this metaphor, this is what helped me like integrate that concept of free will. So when you understand that you can incarnate as someone who is born without legs and without arms, and it was your ultimate free will to incarnate like that for that lifetime, because your soul wanted to expand and evolve inside, because of all the challenges that you face as that incarnation. So that is the ultimate free will, that you decided to have that experience.
Hmm. But doesn't karma play a role in this?
You could have decided to maybe go into a body that has three, like, 2 legs and 1 arm, and do it a little bit softer,
Hmm.
but that's not what you decided. You had
Mhm.
free will, and so yeah, there's karma, but you don't resolve karma in one lifetime.
Yeah,
You
and it's
resolve
also
karma over many, 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 many lifetimes. So that's the thing. It's a free will that you created that body, you created that incarnation with all the experiences so that you could grow and evolve what you wanted to. So that is the ultimate free will.
yeah, and as you said earlier, like the fractals and is just source wanting to have that experience through that body, like and there's a soul that is willing to do that because there's a like we live in an infinite universe, right?
Yeah,
And
you
yeah,
stood in line for that.
yeah, yeah.
So Source came and said, okay, um, this is an infinite fractal that I need, and it has XYZ. Who wants it? And you said yes.
And you won because maybe also 15 people said yes, or maybe it's
Exactly.
a 100,000 people.
Yeah,
And you may think, how can 100,000 souls want to live in that? That's how beautiful maybe the human experience is, right?
exactly. Exactly. And that is how I felt when I came back from Bufo.
Bufo is so crazy, like that medicine, like El Sapo, that it takes you like boom, boom, like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
You it expands like so fast. Wow, the energy you feel, like wow.
Yeah.
But
And I
yeah,
had Kambo first.
I've never had. How was the Kambo experience? Like, was it a lot of like
Intense.
purge detox?
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
Thank you.
That was intense. Like, it's like the worst stomach bug you've ever had.
The stomach, what?
The worst stomach bug you've ever
Mm.
had. That's Kambo. But like once it's and oh, and your face sort of, at least at the beginning, feels like it's growing. Your lips like
Mm.
they they're much much bigger, and your whole body just like your heart starts to pump faster. And
Mhm.
so I was just breathing through all of that, of course, just purging. You have to drink as much as you can beforehand, to the point that you could even throw up without the combo. That's how much you have to drink at the beginning before starting.
Well, what do you drink?
Water.
Like, yeah, okay.
Water. So you just drink water, water, water. Like I drank over 2 liters of water. Drink, 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 drink until you can't go anymore. And then like you get these marks. There's
Mhm.
one, the other, and then you have to hold your arms up, and then the powder is put on the marks, and it's just like immediate. Off you go to the races, and it's very detoxifying, and but it's over in about half an hour,
Mm.
and then like you just have a little break. I went to lie in the hammock, got a vision of 𝒶𝓃, of course,
Yeah.
and yeah, just like relax, and then I went to have the bufo. But because your body was already purified, and um yeah, it's like also you don't eat beforehand, or yeah, that was, so yeah, that was in the morning, so you come fasted.
Mm.
Yeah, and there are of course the dieta rules for
Mhm.
ayahuasca that already applied, so I didn't have to do anything additional for the combo. But they do say like for the dinner beforehand, no animal,
Mhm.
no protein from animals, which is easy as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you
And
understand, like I remember when I did ayahuasca for the first time, it was in 2022. Like I got the call like since 2019 from Peru, like come, and it was only with the intention like try the medicine of the jungle. And when you're in medicine, you understand the power of fasting. Well, in my experience, that was the first time I actually understood the power of fasting, like because you do it at night, right? So, well, at least in my experience, like it was like the a very very small breakfast, but the whole day you go fasted, and actually when you throw up or when you go to the bathroom or when you like purge in a way, after that purging, that's like when the medicine starts in a way. It may not always be like that, but in some experiences it is. But the power of fasting, it's it's extremely powerful. Like all the sacred texts talk about fasting, and fasting is not always about eating food. It's about what you listen and what you see and what you eat and what you who you surround yourself with and the energy. Like fasting in different facets of your life, but the power of fasting from food, it's very very powerful. And also when you're on medicine and you eat something, you feel it, how your body receives it. And so that's why like your body is a temple. And earlier you were talking also about like the pyramids, and also like the pyramids are temples themselves, and they are alive. Like each pyramid as your own temple, like is sacred, right? But yeah, it's just like medicine shows you many different things, and you don't have to do it. But it's like a nice experience to have that, to feel all that and energy, and that it's yourself. And yeah, just recognizing who you are, and most of all that the remembrance, because it is part right now. Remember like who you are, who you always been, and just start walking that path toward incarnating that highest version of yourself. But how beautiful that you did the medicine like at the last of the trip. I find that that's a very very nice way like to integrate it all. Maybe you got some messages about the trip or maybe future events, but it's just a nice way of like the cherry on top, like at the
Oh,
end of the trip, right?
yeah, absolutely. And when Gabriela suggested doing the ceremony at the end, I was 100% immediately just in. So yes, that's perfect. I love that. And so I actually did extend my trip by 1 day, which was in perfect. I had no idea why I did that, but it was in perfect synchronicity because there was actually something that I needed to do on that day that I would have left. So actually I went back to Valladolid just for 1 day, went back to Valladolid for the day, and because there was some things that I needed to do there, and yeah, the medicine. So the medicine isn't for the faint of heart. It isn't for someone who is is curious but doesn't want to face their shadows.
Mhm.
It isn't for people like dabbling uh in let's say the shamanic path. It is for someone who really is devoted to walking this path, because if you don't honor Mama Ayahuasca, she will be brutal to you.
Yeah,
And
I
so
just got
I
goosebumps. Like you gotta come with a lot of respect.
yes, you have to come with a lot of respect, and there are, really take it seriously. Take the fasting seriously, take the dieta seriously, because and meditation, because she she has a lot to say, she has a lot to show you. You are full of power, but when you can't harness that power because you haven't been with yourself enough, um it will be brutal.
Mhm.
But for me, like my both sessions were very gentle. I even so this one was very gentle, and I didn't feel the need to even the need to purge. I didn't feel sick. I was sort of wondering, oh, will it come? And then like after round four, I said, nah, oh good, oh good. I mean, the last one didn't taste very good, but still like I had no problems keeping it in, and I because I wanted to I still had about 1.5 hours left. And so Brenna came up to me and said, "You're like, you're back, aren't you?" So yeah, you can have some more. You just have to ask for more. So, okay, I'll ask for some more then, because yeah, I still want to go deeper. So want to take another deep dive into myself. But once you understand, and you know, the same with the Kambo, when my heart started beating faster because the Kambo induces like a fever in you, but I never felt feverish. It was just because I know, like the way that you said before, of breathing, you know, the energy that flows is a torus. Okay, so when you breathe that way and you have the torus coming in a centripetal way, that no centrifugal way, when it's centrifugal, then you can work, then you can easily alchemize the energy all the way up to the crown. However, if you are centripetal, that's a different story. And many people have their Tauruses going this way.
Mm,
And that's what will create the problems because you're not moving the energy this way.
mm,
So if when you've learned to move the energy like this, plant medicine won't be difficult. But when your energy is moving like this, it will be.
mm. Yeah, and it's very like my first experience. It was different, as you were saying, like afterwards. But the first is because you don't know like what you're entering or how it might be. Like I didn't wanna like do lots of research and have expectations or comparisons, so I just went in like blind. Um, but yeah, it was very like one word I used to describe like the first ceremony was salvaje. It's like very wild, like it's the spirit of the earth, like, and it's very intense, and you sometimes feel like the breathing, and the breathing is you. I also found there like the power of breathing and tapped into other timelines that I've done and practiced these, but it's extremely powerful. Just the simple act of breathing, the way you breathe, how you breathe, when you breathe, it changes everything, and your thoughts, and like every thought creates, and it's a teacher. So you have to be willing to enter as well, like with a student mindset, but knowing that you are also the teacher. But yeah, it's just going like with your notebook and what am I about? But you will learn a lot of things about yourself. But are you willing? Like as you said, it's not for the faint of heart because it would put you, like at least in my experience, all your demons and shadows that and everything that you've been suppressing, it will bring them all to the surface. So are you willing to go through that, to look at it that in the eye? And yeah, it's just part of the process of you like on becoming to become yourself and just know who you are. And yeah, like tapping into that essence of who you've always been. So once you now know it, and once you now remember, like I remember the first time I couldn't stop saying thank you, thank you, thank you. I remember now. I didn't know, like I remember, and just sometimes laughing, sometimes crying, but it's just the sensation of something activated, and you can't unactivate it. So if you go about life just like walking around like nothing ever happened, you will feel worse and worse and worse because you like as we said, like you cannot unsee if you see it. So yeah, it's a path. It's a like if you want to take the medicine, you just gotta be willing to walk the path, and there will be many changes and movements, and but it's all for your best, your highest good, because you're aligning yourself to that best version of yourself that already exists within you, but you are now walking that path towards embodying
Yeah.
that aspect of yourself that already is, but it's just like little by little. But yeah.
But there's
um,
a reason why the medicine wasn't given to everyone,
yeah.
why it was only given to uh certain people who had been on the path since childhood,
Mm,
because it's very strong. However, I also have to say, um, because we, like, every generation is like a better version of the previous generation. So the frequency, the energy of the later generations are then capable of transmuting the energy of the plant medicine better
Mm,
than 200, 300 years ago.
mm,
So that is also how AI was able to be, for the first time, widespread across everyone, because the energy is around for everyone. Everyone was ready for it. And so the same thing with plant medicine. Now we are in the energy where everyone can actually, so not as a commodity, but as something, as a tool that everyone can use, because everyone is capable of getting to that position. Whereas in like many, many years ago, only the initiates were capable of doing it, because they went through a lot of hardship to get to that point of being at that high frequency.
mm. As you said earlier, that you may be the one who like builds a path where there were none, but we are walking a path that like the ones before us walked as well. So the past
Exactly.
generations beforehand, they did have to do that work, and the past generation beforehand. So we're walking the path that our ancestors saw, but it still feels like, because every time it's like a new branch, it's a new path, but we're like we get to a part where the others before us did it, and then we like do a new octave of that. But yeah, like, and also like right now, like the great masters that have walked, like Yeshua or the Buddha or whichever, like there will come a time where all of humanity will be able to embody that energy, to embody that Christic being that we all are. Like being a Christ is a title of being, of recognizing who you are and truly embodying it and being in total coherence. If you think and feel that, but you don't act that, you're not being coherent. So you have to be, embody, and walk and be in full coherence. And that's where like the like we start like to, but it's part of the process, and you just gotta enjoy the process, like enjoy, because it's a beautiful life. Like right now, like the sun, I can feel, I can breathe. It's just finding the pleasure in the small things. That's how like at least I keep myself going. Like every time I drink water, like, oh wow, like holy shit, like water tastes so good. Like every time you receive the sun, like thank you, just like being fully present in the now. And yeah, just don't be hypocrite with yourself, because with this like it's like the middle between the heart and the mind. That's what we speak. What do you think, what do you feel, like speak that. And you being hypocrite, you're like you're using this energy center wrong, you're blocking it. So be honest with yourself, be true to yourself, and yeah, be true to yourself. Don't pretend to be someone that you're not, because if you know how to play the flute perfectly, and you were born to play the flute, like if you're playing the guitar, like you're taking somebody else's place. Like I don't know, it's like just be who you are in your own essence. And medicine helps you in that. And yes, it's very intense, but it's nice to sometimes feel that intensity and those colors and that energy that is alive and that is you. And that may be the, I don't know, something that starts up something very big, but yeah, it's a lot of responsibility too. And the responsibility, I say, it's always a responsibility with yourself. But yeah, that's why it's always start with yourself, love yourself, forgive yourself, talk
Mm.
nice to yourself, because water and memory listens, and we're three-fourths water. As you said earlier, we're fractals of this beautiful great mother that is alive and it's everywhere. We're fractals of her, and water has memory, and water listens, and water responds. So just be nice to yourself. That's like something I repeat myself every day. And every time you, what's it for? Little by little, little by little, like little by little, but every day. Just like the sun decides to shine every day we gotta shine every day. We gotta be good to ourselves every day. And yeah, like that is the path into the illuminated. No, fuck that. Just enjoy life, have fun, and experience. Be able to be willing to experience new things, new sensations, new just experience, because that is info, that is data that changes you. That, like, I don't remember the name of the science that when you go to a place, like everything changes. Um, so just get yourself out more, and because synchronicities and magic are always there waiting for you to happen, you just gotta be willing, like, to step in, right? Yeah.
Yeah, step in, step out, step over. I love that. And so I think this would be a good time to end this. I've been really enjoyed talking to you, Marcelo, because every discussion that I've had with you has just been beautiful and amazing. And those are even the voice message discussions that we've had on WhatsApp. So, yeah, I really appreciate you and your wisdom. And happy belated birthday. I did text you on your birthday, but I can say
Thank
it
you.
directly here. Happy belated birthday. I hope you had an amazing day with your family. And yeah, we have, I think, yeah, just moved out of Aries season.
Yeah, I think yesterday, or I think it's
Yeah,
20,
probably.
2021,
Yeah.
like 20 or 21.
Or
uh
21. Yeah. So just moved
yeah.
out of Aries season, out of that very hot energy. It was very strong, I have to say as well. But we
Yeah.
can get into that in the next discussion. So thank you so much for being here. I've enjoyed it a lot, and I would love to have you on again.
Me as well. Thank you, Stephanie. It's been an honor for me to be here, just to talk, to have fun together, to share. Of course, there will be another one. And thank you, Marlene, again for weaving us. And yeah, we'll keep weaving each other in this new earth that already is, but it's also building itself. So yes, thank you. And yeah, thank you all, the listeners as well. May you have a beautiful rest of your day, rest of your week, and much love to you all.
Okay, and before we leave, if anyone wants to see you, where can they find you or work with you?
Um, I have I've been posting. I have a YouTube channel, Instagram, TikTok. They all have the same at Marcelo Melendez, with the last E changed for a three. And yeah, I'm also on Twitter. I'm also on Threads. I try to be on most social medias. But yeah, search for Marcelo Melendez, and you'll find me there. Whatever thing, we can get in contact there. And yeah, let's do great things, build together, and we'll be happy to talk.
Amazing. So I'll put that all in the show notes below, as well as my offerings. And yeah, love to talk to you again very
I,
soon.
and you as well, because I will also be uploading this video. So where can people find you too?
Yeah, sure. So here at Weirdish on YouTube, then on Instagram, I'm at Elevanima, at elevate your soul, anima as soul. And I have offerings for hypnotherapy, for coaching, for light language activations, and human design consulting on my website. And we'll put that in the links below, and you can directly book an appointment with me right there, right then, if you feel called to. And yeah. Also, if you feel called to, I'd love to see you around. So please subscribe and follow if that's what you want to. Myself and Marcelo. And yeah, this has been Weirdish, where we have like these amazing conversations. And yeah, so thank you so much. Hasta luego. Muchas gracias. Been a pleasure.
Thank you all.
Mucho
Much love.
gusto.
Thank you.
Much love.
You thought you were losing your mind, but you're just remembering who you are. The signs you've been seeing aren't signs, they're coordinates written in the stars. Every crazy thing you've seen, every vision, every dream, every nobody would believe me. That's your energy, vibration and frequency. You're not broken, you don't need healing. You're the one you're looking for, darling. You don't need saving, you need reminding. You already are the light, so stop shrinking and shine bright. You're not